Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 300 based on novel. So let's start. He wore a grey armor and devilish energy came out of his body, forming a devil shadow behind him. He stood there as if he was one with the black sand desert. It was impossible to see his face under the grey armor. You could only see his cold eyes with an indifferent gaze under the helmet. His voice was flat without any emotion. As he spoke, his gaze was locked on Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression was gloomy, and with a wave of his hand, he put all the heads into his bag. Wang Lin then looked at this person who claimed to be called Ming Hai, and he could feel that his cultivation level was no weaker than Nirvana Cleanser. What made him feel even stranger was that aside from the strands of devilish energy, there was also celestial spiritual energy. Wang Lin looked at the man and calmly asked, "Am I the only one here?" The man pondered a bit before shaking his head. Then his eyes suddenly shined and he slowly said, "When you beat me, you will know everything." With that, he took a step forward. With this step, he jumped off the tower. As he floated in the air, his right hand mercilessly grasped at the void. 5 strands of black smoke appeared and shot toward Wang Lin. The 5 strands of black smoke seemed to be able to cut space itself. As they moved, 5 hideous marks appeared as if they had cut the sky itself. Wang Lin's pupils shrank and he immediately retreated a few steps. The black smoke smashed into the ground where Wang Lin was and kicked up a lot of sand. Waves of sand rose up hundreds of feet into the air and smashed down on Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and his right hand formed a seal. Then he pointed forward and shouted, "Summon the rain." After he spoke, the sky changed colors and countless drops of rain appeared. The raindrops turned into countless crystals and fell with Wang Lin's words. These raindrops contained the origin energy of the world. The sand released muffled popping sounds and dissipated as they collided with the rain. Wang Lin didn't stop and continued to retreat. His hands changed to form more seals and rain gathered. Everything within 10,000 feet was covered by raindrops. The rain that descended from the sky shot forward like sharp swords the moment Wang Lin waved his hands. There were heaven-shaking rumbles, and the waves of sand quickly dissipated under the impact of the rain. Just at this instant, the man named Ming Hai charged forward and directly went through the sand wave. He pointed forward and softly said, "Sand explosion." The sand on the ground before him trembled and then suddenly flew into the air. It then charged at Wang Lin from all directions. Endless amounts of sand from even farther away seemed to be gathering toward this location. The sand extended as far as the eye could see. The sand was too fast, and it came from all directions as if it wanted to devour Wang Lin. If you looked from above, waves of sand were gathering. Wang Lin's expression changed and he spat something out. The 18 Hell Celestial Sealing Stamp flew out and turned into a small mountain. He then shouted, "Magic Arsenal," and waved his right hand. A ghostly cry echoed across the sky and specks of light filled the world as Wang Lin waved his hand. Countless souls appeared, including the soul of Blood Ancestor. There were also the numerous celestial souls and the souls of all those people Wang Lin had killed. These people summoned by Wang Lin's spell all roared. The sound replaced everything else in the world, including the sound of the sand whistling. These battle souls were positioned around Wang Lin. With a thought from Wang Lin, these souls charged out. Among them, Blood Ancestor's soul was most tyrannical. He turned to look at Wang Lin with bloodshot eyes, but he didn't lash out and instead charged outward with a roar. There were also those numerous celestial souls that seemed to have gone crazy and pounced at their surroundings. Among these souls, there were people from the Slaughter Realm. They were new additions, and when they appeared, killing intent filled the area. As the countless grains of sand flew at Wang Lin, they came into contact with the souls. As a result, an endless rumble echoed across the world. Ming Hai had a calm expression as he pointed to between his eyebrows. A flash of white light came from his eyebrows and formed a 3-inch sword. This sword was completely wild, and the moment it appeared, it released a shocking sword energy. This sword energy was so strong that it could almost break open the sky. This sword was gifted to me by the Celestial Emperor. It is named Fang Shu. There was a hint of melancholy in Ming Hai's voice, and he threw the small sword in his hand. There was a flash of white light when the sword flew toward. It was very fast and looked like a white line that closed in on Wang Lin. This sword has a spirit. To die by it is your fortune. Ming Hai let out a soft sigh. It was impossible to see his expression, but the sigh pierced the black gas and landed in Wang Lin's ears. With no hesitation, Wang Lin's right hand formed a fist and the shadow of an ancient god appeared behind him. He then stepped through the grains of sand and threw a punch at the white light. There was a loud bang and a whirlwind appeared before Wang Lin that swept away all the sand and collided with the white light. The heaven-shaking sword energy exploded at this moment. Even Ling Jianho's sword energy was greatly inferior. This sword energy was like a rainbow, and the moment it appeared, the whirlwind formed by Wang Lin's fist collapsed from the center. It was cut in half. Wang Lin's expression became gloomy and he continued to retreat, throwing punches as he did so. The rumbles continued, and he retreated more than 1,000 feet before he dodged the sword energy. There was a hint of disappointment in Ming Hai's eyes, and he turned around to walk back into the tower. That small sword had broken through all the shockwaves sent by Wang Lin's fists. It then flashed and turned back into a ray of white light that shot at Wang Lin. Wang Lin frowned hard, and blue light flashed in his right eye. The azure light shield appeared before Wang Lin and the white light collided with it. Popping sounds echoed and the shadow of the ancient god behind Wang Lin became more solid. He silently pondered as the ancient god stars slowly rotated. The memories he inherited from Tu Sai flashed through his mind. After taking a deep breath, Wang Lin placed his hands before his body. Then his fingers crossed, forming a strange mark. Steal the merit of the heavens, take the soul of the universe, gather the ancient order, eternal remembrance. The ancient god language slowly came out of Wang Lin's mouth. As he spoke, the ancient god shadow behind Wang Lin also formed the same seal. Although Wang Lin had inherited a lot of ancient god spells, a 5-star ancient god could only use a few of them. In addition to calling the power of the ancient ancestors and summoning the god-slaying spear, there was also this spell. This spell was the limit of the amount of power a 5-star ancient god could use, and it was named Merit Spirit. Instead of the white sword, the spell was targeted at the man named Ming Hai. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a ghostly light as he pushed the hand seal forward. Large amounts of ancient god power filled his body and quickly gathered on the seal inside his hands. Steal the merit of the heavens. At this moment, the entire world changed. The dim sky seemed to be ripped open by a pair of giant hands. All the surrounding sand was instantly knocked away by a shock wave. This allowed the souls from Magic Arsenal to charge forward. The world changed in the space outside of the demon spirit land, and endless origin energy began to gather. This origin energy broke through the vortex at the East Demon Spirit Sea and went inside. It pierced through everything inside the demon spirit land and charged into the 5th cave through the 9-dragon formation. At this moment, the white jade bottle floating before the person sitting on the wooden bridge and covered in black mist began to tremble violently. Eh? A sound came from the black mist. A ghostly light suddenly shined from the eyes of the person in the black mist and he suddenly looked up. A black vortex appeared, and origin energy charged out from the vortex toward the jade bottle. It was able to attract power from the world outside. The voice of the man inside the black mist was filled with shock. I originally thought that only 4 people needed attention, but unexpectedly, there is another. A murmur came from the black mist, and his eyes lit up. A dried-up arm reached out of the white bottle and mercilessly squeezed. The origin energy that charged him began to collapse and dissipate rapidly. Just as this person inside the black mist crushed the incoming origin energy, Wang Lin's ancient god language echoed once more in the black sand desert. Take the soul of the universe. After he spoke, the ancient god shadow behind Wang Lin let out a roar that shook the heavens and earth. It was as if this roar could split the world and extract the souls of the mountains, of the starry skies, and of the universe. The universe didn't have a soul, but this ancient god spell could withdraw a will from it. This was an extremely powerful ancient god spell, but the amount of power it displayed depended on the power of the user. If a 9-star ancient god used Merit Spirit, they could not only extract the soul of the universe, they could even extract some of the laws of the world and use it to change the heavens. Wang Lin was, after all, only at 5 stars, so he couldn't do all of this. However, since he was a royal ancient god, he was at least able to make the black sand desert tremble. The devilish shadow on the wooden bridge had just crushed the origin energy when the white jade bottle started trembling violently. It was as if a force inside it was constantly releasing a suction force from within. The black cork blocking the mouth of the bottle trembled and was pulled down as if it was going to get sucked into the bottle. A ghostly light exploded from the eyes of the person inside the dark mist. After he said, "Steal the merit of the heavens," although the origin energy he summoned from the outside was blocked, his own origin energy mixed with his ancient god power and went into his hand. The moment his origin energy left, a white line appeared from the seal formed by Wang Lin's hands. "Take the soul of the universe." Then it caused a storm inside the black sand desert. As numerous gusts of wind whistled through the desert, black gas appeared within the world and condensed into a black line before Wang Lin. These two lines intersected and formed a diamond-shaped rune. This rune was beyond anything from the Tattoo clan. It was so complex that one would feel dizzy just by looking at it. "Gather the ancient order, eternal remembrance." The moment Wang Lin said the last line, the diamond rune released a black and white glow and slowly floated forward. As it floated, the diamond rune continued to expand until it was more than 10,000 feet tall. It was like a wall that reached the heavens, and it continued to push forward. Rumbles echoed and the dim sky was pushed back, even the black sand on the ground was pushed back. It was as if the sand was having all of its existence erased. The giant diamond rune could be clearly seen from anywhere in the world. As it moved forward, everything before it was destroyed. Wang Lin revealed a tired expression. It was not easy for him to use this spell with his current ancient god power, which was why he had never used it before. If not for the fact that this battle would determine whether he could leave or not, he wouldn't have used it. Although the man named Ming Hai was as strong as a Nirvana cleanser cultivator, the spells and treasures he used were heaven-shaking. As the rumbles echoed, the small, white sword was pushed back and a sword hymn echoed across the sky. Ming Hai, who was walking back into the tower, trembled and turned around. When he saw the slowly approaching diamond rune, his eyes shined brightly. "I don't care whether your identity is an ancient god or chi cultivator. Being able to display such a spell means you're qualified to see the true form of the sword gifted by the Celestial Emperor." As the man spoke, he pointed forward. The small, white sword that was pushed back trembled and released sword energy that could pierce the heavens. At this moment, the entire sky was covered by sword shadows. An ancient sword intent suddenly filled the world and emitted an ancient aura. The small sword had summoned this ancient sword intent to descend on the black sand desert. As the sword intent descended, various figures appeared behind the sword shadows in the sky. These were figures of ancient people, and they each held a sword in their hand. Then the small, white sword turned into a ray of white light that charged at the diamond rune, and the figures in the sky began to move. As they moved, they released dense amounts of sword energy. At this moment, the sky was a world of swords. Under the impact of the small, white sword, those sword energies closed in on the diamond rune. The small, white sword moved the fastest and suddenly collided with the diamond rune. Large amounts of ripples began to spread across the rune, then the sword energies from the sky descended. It was as if countless people were using various sword tactics that emitted sword energy, and they fused together into a monstrous sword intent that shot at the diamond rune. The diamond rune shook violently. There was a loud rumble that echoed as it shook. Wang Lin's body trembled and he coughed out blood. He would suffer backlash for using this spell at this current cultivation level. Coldness appeared in Wang Lin's eyes as he stared ahead. His ancient god stars rotated rapidly and a large amount of ancient god power entered the diamond rune. This caused the diamond rune to continue moving forward. As it moved, all of the black sand was removed from the ground, revealing a mirror-like white surface. The dim sky was also pushed away, revealing a mirror-like white surface. The ancient sword intent and countless sword shadows formed by the small, white sword were forced to retreat. Even ancient sword intent couldn't stop an ancient god spell. Moreover, this small white sword didn't possess the complete ancient sword intent, only a portion of it. As a result, it wasn't able to resist. Ming Hai's eyes revealed a strange light as he smiled and stared the diamond rune along with Wang Lin, who was behind it. He laughed. Good. I didn't expect to see this kind of spell in my twilight years. I'll answer one of your questions. I think the thing you want to know the most is how to leave this place. This is the first layer of the Celestial Cave, the Bottle World. This is where the Celestial Emperor collects celestial spiritual energy to form celestial spirits. The reason it is called the Bottle World is because this entire world is within a bottle. This bottle was one of the treasures the Celestial Emperor refined in his earlier years. However, due to the Celestial Emperor being seriously injured, his divine sense collapsed. A divine sense containing the Celestial Emperor's lonely desert smoke entered and made this place into a black sand desert. The grey gas you experienced was formed by the Celestial Emperor's spell. There are a total of 99 realms, and each of the realms has the same black sand. You and your companions were sent into different realms here. In addition, I can tell you that the Celestial Emperor's spell Lonely Desert Smoke was comprehended through one of the 9 mountain and river paintings, the Lonely Desert Smoke. That painting is sealed within this bottle world. If you are destined, you can take it. Of course, you must kill me first. Ming Hai laughed as he leaped forward and a ghostly light appeared in his eyes. He pointed up at the sky and slowly said, I, Ming Hai, am a realm spirit of the bottle world. Aside from the Fang Shu which the Celestial Emperor gave me, I also have a Celestial Emperor spell. Burn the heavens. Ming Hai pointed at the sky and laughed, then a 9-colored flame began burning from within his body. This flame contained scarlet, orange, red, green, cyan, blue, and purple, along with black and white. The flame shot into the sky along with Ming Hai's finger. The sky was enveloped in a scarlet light and began burning. This didn't end. As the scarlet light filled the sky, the other colors began to shine. The 9-colored flames flooded the sky, and at this instant, the flames covered the sea. Burn the heavens. Burn the sky? A celestial spell that used the power of burning the sky. The person that created this celestial spell was Qing Lin. Waves of heat descended from the sky. As the sky burned, the dim shroud covering the sky was replaced with endless fire. Under this intense heat, the sand on the group actually collapsed. Grains of sand shattered, and in an instant, the black sand desert Wang Lin was turned into hell. As the grains of sand collapsed, they began to melt due to the invading heat. The black sand became a black sea. This shocking scene caused Wang Lin to gasp. He was close to the flames, so he immediately felt the heat wave enter his body. His skin began to crack and even the blood in his body turned into red gas that came out of his pores. Just this was already shocking. However, Wang Lin immediately noticed that something was happening to his origin energy. It was rapidly dissipating. The flames that covered the sky seemed to extend endlessly, as if they wanted to burn the entire sky. As long as there was any sky, the flames would continue to burn. Popping sounds echoed across the sky. Wang Lin could vaguely see 9 fire dragons roaring through the sky and burning the world. For a celestial spell to have the name, Burn the Heavens, it had to have unimaginable power. If even the sky could be burned to ashes, there was no need to mention everything below the sky. The diamond rune swept forward and pushed the melted sand. The flames in the sky seemed to be getting pushed by the diamond rune. However, in an instant, even more intense flames covered the sky. As sky burned, it was as if the sky was melting as well. Large amounts of flames fell from the sky, and every time a blob of flames fell, the earth would tremble. More and more flames fell, and it all burned before the diamond rune. The dense heat wave and black gas caused Wang Lin's mind to tremble. At this moment, Ming Hai's laugh echoed across the world. The power that burns the sky, become my celestial spell and destroy everything. As Ming Hai's voice echoed, the flames in the sky suddenly gathered and swept toward the diamond rune. There were 9 colors in these flames. The 9-colored flames descended and began to circle the diamond rune. As more flame descended, even the ground began to burn. It was as if the black sand desert had turned into a fire hell that wanted to devour Wang Lin and the diamond rune. Wang Lin had already lost too much origin energy. His face was pale as he sat above the diamond rune. However, with the impact of the flames, the burning of the sky, and descending flames, the diamond rune under him shattered. While it collapsed, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and his arms spread out. The remaining origin energy in his body was mercilessly sent out to create a shock wave. This shock wave caused the shattered diamond rune to scatter in all directions. Although the rune had shattered, it still contained the power of an ancient god. As it scattered, it was as if a storm was set off in this sea of flames. As this storm spread out, it pushed the flames away. However, this was only temporary. Once the storm dissipates, the flame will return and burn everything. Using the window where the flames were pushed away, Wang Lin ignored the sweat that covered his body and the red mist that was his blood that came out of his pores and slapped his bag of holding. His eyes were red as he shouted, "God-slaying chariot!" In an instant, a five-colored light flew out of Wang Lin's bag and turned into the five-colored butterfly. The five-colored butterfly flapped its wing and five-colored powder appeared. Wang Lin pointed at Ming Hai behind the sea of fire. The five-colored butterfly moved forward and flapped its wings. An invisible wind that could shatter all power of law was set off in this ruin of the black sand desert. The moment the five-colored butterfly appeared, the mist around Ming Hai was hit by a gust of wind and was blown away. When the mist dissipated, the grey armor and the upright figure within the armor were revealed. Looking at the five-colored butterfly, there was a trace of confusion in Ming Hai's eyes. He seemed to have given up on resisting as he stared at the butterfly in a trance. As the five-colored butterfly moved forward, it flapped its wing. A small portion of Ming Hai's armor shattered into fragments and was pushed back. As the five-colored butterfly continued to move forward, it continued to flap its wings. The rumbles continued and Ming Hai's armor began to shatter like crazy. Large amounts of cracks appeared on his helmet until it fell off from his face. This revealed his rough, black hair and his sunken-in face. He was a middle-aged man filled with age. There was a scar on his right eyebrow. If you looked closely, this scar almost penetrated into his skull, and there was a black fragment inside it. Bursts of black gas came from the fragment and continued to enter Ming Hai's head. Ming Hai withdrew his gaze from the butterfly and his eyes revealed a ghostly light. He touched the scar on his forehead and muttered, "I still haven't died." His body flickered and he charged at Wang Lin. His right hand formed a seal and pointed at the sky. The flames in the area seemed to have gone crazy, as if they were being summoned. They devoured the shattered diamond rune and rushed over. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes as he charged out and formed a seal with both of his hands. He bit the tip of his tongue to spit out a blood arrow, and his right hand used it to draw a blood rune that landed on the five-colored butterfly. Every god-slaying war chariot has 5 seals on it. After the third chariot was activated, it turned into a cocoon that gave birth to this butterfly. However, there are still 5 seals on this butterfly. Only by releasing all 5 seals can I gain control of this chariot and use the true power of the treasure created by Master Qian Bao that could slay gods. Turning into a butterfly can be considered the first seal. Now the second seal, release. Wang Lin's blood arrow landed on the butterfly, causing it to tremble violently. As it trembled, a 6th color quickly appeared. Ming Hai quickly moved forward, waving his hand, which was covered in flames. After he closed in on Wang Lin, he waved his hand and flames appeared before him. Without hesitation, Wang Lin summoned the ancient god Furnace. He disappeared in a flash and reappeared behind Ming Hai. Coldness flashed in his gaze and his right hand mercilessly pressed on Ming Hai's back. The Wither Dao pair appeared in a flash. As the evil intent filled the area, grey light shined on Ming Hai's feet. Ming Hai revealed a grim smile. He opened his arms and a devilish celestial energy surged out. It created a shockwave that quickly spread. The grey light under his feet quickly disappeared and a powerful shockwave went after Wang Lin. Wang Lin quickly retreated, but at the same time, he spat out another blood arrow at the butterfly not far away. Third seal, release. Opening 3 seals was the limit of Wang Lin's cultivation. The butterfly trembled, and in the blink of an eye, it turned into a 7-colored butterfly. The 7 colors flashed, making the butterfly more gorgeous. With a flap of its wings, 7-colored powder appeared before Wang Lin and gently floated forward. Ming Hai turned around and waved his right hand, causing the sea of flames to charge at Wang Lin once more. The sea of flames was only 1,000 feet away and would soon reach Wang Lin. The heat wave blew on Wang Lin, and his skin became even more cracked, but not much blood mist flew out. Wang Lin felt dizzy right now due to losing too much blood. Even his origin soul had become weak, but due to the ancient god leather armor, his origin soul wasn't damaged. After all, this armor came from an 8-star ancient god, and Wang Lin's body was only 5 stars. Even Ming Hai was startled by this. He let out a sneer as his left hand formed a seal and pointed at the earth. Then his hand reached out at the void. Suddenly, all the sand that had melted into black liquid began to gather in Ming Hai's hand. At this moment, the 7-colored butterfly flapped its wings and rapidly approached Ming Hai. The 7-colored powder formed a storm that charged at Ming Hai. Ming Hai's eyes lit up. He grabbed the black liquid that had gathered in his left hand and threw it up. The black liquid was thrown into the air and formed a protective barrier. However, just as the black liquid barrier was formed, the 7-colored butterfly went through the storm and pierced the barrier. This caused the black liquid to be pushed back toward Ming Hai along with the storm. At this moment, the flames were less than 500 feet away. In this moment of crisis, the ancient god furnace appeared around Wang Lin and he appeared behind Ming Hai in a flash. His right hand quickly pointed forward. Ming Hai frowned and the devilish celestial energy inside his body erupted once more. However, just as it was about to erupt, there was a hint of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes as he shouted, "Stop!" This time, he didn't want to attack to hurt Ming Hai, but to confuse him so he could find the best chance to use the stop spell. With one word, it was as if countless threads had wrapped around Ming Hai, and he unexpectedly paused for a moment. Not including Wang Lin's ancient god body, he was only a peak mid-stage Nirvana Scryer cultivator. To use the stop spell against a celestial at the Nirvana cleanser stage meant that he would suffer the backlash, but he didn't care anymore. The moment Ming Hai's body paused, the 7-colored storm arrived. It didn't attack Ming Hai's body, but under Wang Lin's control, it charged into the wound on Ming Hai's right eyebrow. The entire 7-colored storm entered the wound. A frantic roar came from Ming Hai's mouth. He held his head as he began to struggle like crazy and quickly retreated. Wang Lin didn't pursue but withdrew all his treasures. When the Burn the Heavens spell appeared, he had already withdrawn all of the souls for his magic arsenal and the celestial sealing stamp. After doing so, he charged straight for the Black Tower. At this moment, the flames from Burn the Heavens came at Wang Lin from all directions. Under the heat wave, Wang Lin's clothes caught on fire, but a ray of blue light came of his right eye quickly extinguished the flame. He clenched his teeth and the ancient god furnace appeared once more and moved him forward 1,000 feet in a flash. Then he stepped into the Black Tower. The reason he entered the Black Tower was because when the flames were burning the world and melting the black sand desert until there was nothing left, the Black Tower didn't move at all and none of the flames had gone inside. However, the flames were far too fast. Almost at the moment Wang Lin walked into the tower, the flames swept by. The heat wave from the flames hit Wang Lin's back. Wang Lin only felt pain from his back, and the heat directly entered his body. Luckily, this was only residual heat, so it wasn't too much. He took out large amount of pills and swallowed them. Then he looked back into the distance and saw the sea of flames everywhere. The black sand desert no longer existed and the sky was now a void that would occasionally reveal a mirror-like, smooth, white surface. Ming Hai's painful screams came from the distance. He was holding his head and roaring constantly. Wang Lin could clearly see the 7-colored light in Ming Hai's right eyebrow. The 7-colored light flashed as if it wanted to seal this wood. However, just as the wound on his right eyebrow was sealed, the black fragment in the scar was surrounded by the 7-colored gas. This cut off the flow of devilish energy, and his eyes entered a trance as if he had awakened from an endless nightmare. However, his face was filled with endless pain. He jerked his head up to look at the mirror-like white surface above him and revealed a miserable smile. Celestial Emperor, Ming Hai has been disloyal. Due to my own greed, I turned into a devil. I deserve to die? With a miserable smile, the endless flames surged and wrapped around him. After the flames disappeared, the person had turned to ashes, leaving only the seven-colored butterfly. It flew through the sea of flames and returned to Wang Lin's side. After witnessing all of this, Wang Lin silently pondered. He vaguely had an idea of what had happened. After letting out a sigh, he noticed that the flames were not coming into the tower. Then he began examining this tower. After a long time, his eyes lit up and he slapped his bag of holding. The heads that he took a little while ago floated before him. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light and he muttered, "I didn't think the celestial spell Nether Guide would be useful in this place. These people all have devilish energy. If I use it as a guide, I will be able to open a passage to leave this place." Wang Lin waved his right hand and the heads all collapsed. Then his hand formed a seal and everything merged together to form a dark red vortex. A passage gradually opened before Wang Lin. Huh? Wang Lin's eyes narrowed and he noticed that something was wrong. As the vortex rotated, dense devilish energy came out from within. Just at this moment, he heard a boom. It sounded like the vortex had just broken into some place. Wang Lin looked inside and was shocked. He saw a large hall filled with devilish energy. There was a huge throne in that hall, and a person was sitting on it. This video will end here.